A fantasy draft is the great equalizer in Madden franchise, except for when it's not. Because today we're going to be doing a fantasy draft where I can only take the strongest player currently available at each position. And y'all really seem to enjoy the speed one of these I did, the fastest player at each position, but this one's going to be a little harder for sure. Because obviously speed is more important to most players than strength, unless you're an offensive lineman or something. So a lot of the players we're going to be getting here probably won't be a great overall. So in other words, this is going to be a challenging one. And massive shout out to Minnesota Fan for the suggestion of this video. Go drop him a sub, their link is in the description. And of course, if you want to shout out, just let me know any fun rebuild ideas y'all might have. Can be related to this. I could do like, I was going to say slowest players, but that might be a 42 overall team. I don't know if I would want to do that, but let me know any fun rebuild ideas y'all have down below. And I think we did super well with the like goal on the last one of these I did, so be sure to drop a like if you enjoy it. It sounds stupid, but it really does help out the channel, and imagine if everyone liked the video, we would be at like 10 or 20,000 likes. So take the like 2 seconds, I very much appreciate it. And be sure to subscribe if you like Madden rebuilds, because that is literally all I do. And we are very close to 20k, so if you want to be one of the first 20,000 subscribers, be sure to subscribe. But that's enough plugging, let's get into this probably really hard fantasy draft, and let's see what we can do. Okay, well, the strongest quarterback available is Josh Dobbs. That's not great. Okay, well, there are actually better players here than I expected. I don't know how the fuck Deebo Samuel has higher strength than DK Metcalf, but okay. There's also George Kittle and Trent Williams. The 49ers apparently just have really high strength in this game, but this actually isn't looking too bad at all. You know what? Call me crazy. I think I'm gonna go with a defensive lineman with the first pick here, and that's gonna be Jeffrey Simmons. Only 26 here, does have a superstar dev. A lot of the players that are the strongest at their positions here are a lot older. Like, I could go for Trent Williams. He's a 99, but he's like 34. He's gonna retire after the first year. He does a lot of the time, at least. I could also go for George Kittle, but he's 29. I could go for Derrick Henry, but he's 29. So let's go with a relatively young and really good defensive lineman in Jeffrey Simmons. Damn it, there goes DK. All right. And we are gonna go with a different offensive lineman, not one that I talked about earlier, and that's gonna be Zach Martin. He's a little bit younger. He's a few years younger and only one overall lower, and if we really wanted to, we could maybe put him at tackle. I don't think I will, but I definitely want to make this a good offensive line for the all-strength team, so let's go with Zach Martin. And Derrick Henry is old, like I was saying, but he is the clear best option here. 87 strength for him. Is 29, but a few years of hopefully elite running back play should be worth the pick here. And I'm only going to show a few more picks, so this doesn't take an eternity, but we definitely need a receiver. Is Michael Thomas the best in the world? No. Not at this point, at least. I don't think it shows me what his strength is, unfortunately, so I can't compare him to Mike Williams and see if they have the same strength. But we desperately need a receiver, so let's go with Michael Thomas. And with the last pick I'm going to show, I think the highest overall player we can go with here is Jamal Adams at an 87. Looked good in his first game back and then got concussed again. And then the league thought about fining him when he got mad about, or at like a sideline person. My brother in Christ, he was concussed. That's a part of having a concussion, is acting irrational and weird like that. I don't know. They didn't fine him, or suspend him, but still, it's weird how little they know about, the biggest problem of their game. But anyways, last pick I'm gonna show here, let's take Jamal Adams. And now, I'll obviously take every single one of the rest of these picks, and we will see what kind of team we come up with. Okay, well, here's a look at the team we drafted. This team is old. We apparently got that old man strength or something, because this team is old. I don't even know if we have a starter younger than we have Jordan Davis, which is obviously a huge get. Only 23 with superstar dev, was somehow available fairly late. But yeah, there are definitely some major flaws with this team, but it's not bad. We're an 82 overall. It's probably going to be lower next season just because of regression and all that, but all things considered, this team is not too bad. Our offensive line is obviously good. We probably need another tackle. I think I'll start Jermaine Illuminor there, just because, believe it or not, I don't want a 41-year-old starting on my offensive line. Literally, just someone's uncle out there starting. Nah, he's still solid though, but still, 41, we're not doing that. The tight end group is not very good and very old. Our receiving core, I don't even want to talk about our receiving core. I did what I could there, but there was never really a good number one player there except for like Deebo Samuel at the very beginning. And then QB is interesting. We got a few, I guess, topical guys. What's the word to use here? Three players that have been talked about a lot recently. Trey Lance is, I guess, the highest rated guy here at a 70. We also have Josh Dobbs, has been doing pretty well for the Cardinals. And we got Malik Willis, too. So it's a really interesting group of players there. And then, of course, our running back room is really good with Derrick Henry as the number one. And then the defense, don't ask what I'm doing with the defensive line scheme here. We're set up like a 4-3, but we have Jeffrey Simmons as a defensive end. Don't ask why, I don't know. But we have Chandler Jones, which, you know, that's just interesting. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then Frank Clark, who was like a 75 outside linebacker, but I moved him to defensive end and he's a 78. So I guess that's an upgrade, but he's also like 30. So I don't even know how long he's going to be here. I don't want to talk about our corner room either. At least with our receiver group, we have Michael Thomas, but with our corner group, we got nothing. Our safeties are really good. And our linebacking core is, of course, pretty old, but it's at least decent. So I like our interior D-line, especially if you include Jeffrey Simmons, and I like our offensive line and our running back group, but that's it. Yet somehow we're still an 82 overall, so I won't complain too much, but this team is even older than I expected. So let's get into the rebuild of this team. It's gonna be a hard one. I think we might do okay year one, because let me check real quick where we rank in the NFL in terms of overall. There are a few 81s. We are definitely better than a decent amount of teams here. I would say we're like average to above average, because yeah, there are a decent amount of 80s and 81. 79? What the hell were the Titans doing? They even got a pretty good top three. I don't know. So yeah, it's a bunch of retirement home members in the near future, but it's a decent overall team. It's not too bad. So let's get to the midseason point, and we'll see if we can get these dudes some wins before they go off to Boca Raton or something. I don't know. Okay, well, we're actually better than I thought we would be at the midseason. We are 4-3. I thought not having a great QB and just definitely some weaker positions would hold us back, but we're still competing for sure. I do not think this team would do well at all in real life, despite having a good O-line and D-line. It's just, I think the skill groups are too bad. But apparently Madden disagrees, but we all know Madden doesn't exactly love realism. Trey Lance isn't doing great though. Not a good completion percentage, not too many yards. Derrick Henry's definitely doing pretty well. I'm not going to check all the stats yet. I just wanted to see that. It looks like the Rams got Devontae Adams, the Saints got Jamar Chase, the Chiefs got Jalen Waddle. They're all doing really well. And I guess Jamar Chase goes back to Louisiana. But we, of course, have some re-signings to make here. We actually have a ton of money. Something I don't like about the fantasy drafts is that it doesn't automatically sign some of your early picks to long deals like Derrick Henry, Frank Ragnow. The Trey Lance one, I guess, makes sense because he was later in the draft, but I think it should go like in order from where you picked them, like who it gives the longest and biggest contracts to. I don't know, it's just weird to me. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because it doesn't want to give you them all at once, so I guess it makes sense, but still. It's annoying when the players aren't interested, like Frank Ragnow. But Derrick Henry will definitely re-sign 3 years, $46 million, and he does re-sign, and then Frank Ragnow is going to be tough, but I think he's worth it. 4 years, $77 million. He takes that. That's expensive, but thankfully restructuring is a thing in this game now. And Trey Lance, even if he doesn't do well, I want to take a chance and hope that he does, so I'm going to pay him now before he gets more expensive. We'll go 4 years, 21. And if he doesn't turn out to be great, he'll be a good backup, and that's not much money to commit. And then Steven Nelson's older. I mean, he's good, but he's old. Everyone else here is just a bunch of backups. So that's all we're going to do here, and let's get to the end of the season, and we will see how this team finishes. Okay, well, in year number 1, we finished 10-7, making the playoffs. This team did a lot better than I expected, like I said, but I definitely won't complain. What I will complain about is Trey Lance was not very good. 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, that's fine, but 19 interceptions, 60% completion percentage. Not a great year. Derrick Henry was great, though. 1,500 yards, 5.3 per carry, 17 touchdowns, no fumbles. We will take that, absolutely. And Michael Thomas, 1,150 yards. Not many touchdowns, obviously, because not many were thrown, but good year. Juwan Jennings was fine. N'Keal Harry was fine. Not much for receiving outside of Michael Thomas. But that's how it should be. He's our one good receiver. The blocking was solid. Jermaine Illuminor held up a lot better than I thought he would. Frank Ragnow was low-key our worst lineman. Most of them did well, though, and then Juwan Bentley led the team with 126 tackles for loss, 16 for Simmons, 14 for Chandler Jones. And sacks, I forgot I signed Jerry Hughes. I was confused to see him here, but yeah, he is one of the strongest defensive ends with, does strength only 77? Maybe I shouldn't have had him here. Oops, well, I guess this is his only year here. I swore I sorted by strength, though, for free agents I was going to sign, but oh well. Jeffrey Simmons, 8 sacks, Chandler Jones, 7, Deron Payne, 6.5. Not much for Frank Clark, but it looks like he didn't play much, to be fair. And then interceptions, not many. 3 for Steven Nelson, 2 for Jamal Adams, and then 1 for Bentley and Perriman. I used the Bills defensive playbook in the last rebuild I did, and this is kind of the theme every year. Good amount of sacks, but like hardly any interceptions. That's what, 7? Not great. Believe it or not. But for yearly awards, MVP goes to Aaron Rodgers on the Bengals. That confused me really bad for a second. I, for some reason, forgot this was a fantasy draft. It looks like the Jags replaced one Josh Allen with another Josh Allen. That's kind of fun. But Offensive Player of the Year goes to Derrick Henry. We definitely take those. And Defensive Player of the Year goes to I was reading Leonard Floyd. Aaron Donald on the Texans, but Leonard Floyd on the Dolphins at number 2, an actual Bill in real life, so wish we had him here, I guess. The Bengals got Aaron Rodgers and Micah Parsons here. That's interesting. But Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Anthony Richardson on the Jets. I'm too used to the last rebuild I did, the Colts 10-year rebuild, so I see Colts players and I was like, oh, there's us, but it's not. But an actual Colts player, Josh Downs, stays there. But do we have any Bills? No. And Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Dan Henley on the Ravens. No Bills up there. I don't even think we had any rookies at all. Maybe, but not many. But in the playoffs, we're going to be taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I see they have Pat Surtain here. They also have Josh Jacobs, Amari Cooper, Khalil Mack, TJ Hawkinson. This is kind of a fun team. The talent really falls off quick after that group, but it's still a pretty good group of players up there. And we have a first of many scenario. We will go play it cool. Y'all know me. And now let's see if we can somehow pull off a win against the Ravens. We do have a better overall team, but y'all know what that means. Okay, never mind. We win, surprisingly, 31-14. We kind of smack them. And now we're going to be taking on the LA Chargers in the divisional. We had an upgrade for N'Keal Harry. I forgot we even had him for some reason. But we have a recap for the first of many. Give us those sweet, juicy staff points. And now let's see if we can take down the Chargers. We also do have a better roster than them, and we do beat them, even though we played in LA 17-14. And now we're going to be taking on the Bengals. Something notable about the Bengals is their team breakdown. They have an 87 defense, but they have a 76 overall offense. That's not great. Their offense doesn't even look that bad. I do see more defensive players here than offensive guys. But yeah, their offense doesn't look bad. They don't have a great tight end, and their offensive line is bad. Apparently they haven't learned from the past, 5 years in real life of not having a good line. So hopefully our D-line of old men can tear that offensive line up. We'll see. And we actually have a hot opponent scenario for the 81 overall Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe defense is just a strat in this game, going all defense. But we'll go be confident, +10 like everything for both teams. Loud-ass train outside. I hope that doesn't come through on the mic, but it almost definitely does. And let's see if we can get a win here. And we make the Super Bowl with A team that I thought wasn't even going to be good. We beat the Bengals 28-17. We have a recap for the hot opponent. That's going to be huge. I can't remember what that gives. I can never remember. There are so many different scenarios, which I like. I won't complain about that. But they all give something different, and I can never remember it. Okay, plus 10 everything for the next game and 2,500 XP. Okay, that's exactly what I thought it was. That XP could be pretty huge. I mean, both of them. To get those kind of boosts right before the Super Bowl, that's massive. And we are, of course, going to be taking on the Green Bay Packers. The only 81 overall Green Bay Packers at 10-7. I see they have Jalen Ramsey. Who else do they have? George Kittle, who I was thinking about taking, Austin Eckler, Marcus Williams, Matt Judon, DJ Moore, Shaq Thompson. They have a good squad. I was going to say I didn't see many receivers. Their receiving core isn't great, but to be fair, ours is much, much worse. And their O-line sucks. Where did the good old linemen go? I thought O-linemen last forever in fantasy drafts, and their D-line isn't very good. I always wonder what the CPU logic is in fantasy drafts, because I don't know how you end up with a team like this. Like, I got a better team doing a challenge. I don't know, man. But we have a Super Bowl Media Day. Oh, this is kind of a rare one now. I never really see this. Oh, the Bills' first Super Bowl. That would be pretty fun. We will go, I don't know, embracing it. Does it matter? We get 10 XP or 10 staff points either way. So I don't even know if that has an effect, but I guess we'll jump in here and let's watch this game simulate. We'll see who gets a win. Kind of crazy that this team can make a Super Bowl year one, but some of my like 93 overall teams can't make a Super Bowl. I love this game. Ooh, this is lagging. Just lag, and then the announcer screaming Madden football in my ear scared me. I don't even know if that came through in the video, but that genuinely scared me. But let's simulate this game out and see if we can get the Bills their first Super Bowl in this weird... This would be a weird way to get your first Super Bowl win, having the NFL entirely reset and only drafting players that are super strong. That's definitely one way to win a Super Bowl. But the Packers score first. They go up 14-0. GG's. We get a field goal finally, and we actually get a touchdown, and we take the lead, 17-14. But now that we got the lead, our offense just died again. Oh, apparently we just need hardship for our offense to do well. The Packers tie it at 24-24. We were driving, and it's in overtime in the Super Bowl. Can we please score? We do. And we get the Bills a Super Bowl in literally the first year of the challenge. Can I just end the video now? 10-minute video? That sounds good. Well, let's see if we can make a dynasty here. I mean, if we're doing this with Trey Lance, imagine if we had a good QB. That's so disrespectful, but you know what I mean. He wasn't good here at all. This team needs so much work, and we win a... How did we even win a Super Bowl? What was good about our team? I guess our line did well, Michael Thomas did well, Derrick Henry did well, our pass rush was decent, so I guess we had some good things, but this was a very, very flawed team to win a Super Bowl. But that is one of the most cursed things I've ever seen in this game. Trey Lance on the Bills, wearing number 16, holding the Super Bowl trophy. What a start to the rebuild, huh? And he had a 666 completion percentage. Of course he did. And the QBs had the same amount of yards. And Trey Lance had 0 touchdowns. I'm getting out of here. This is cursed. What a weird year to win a Super Bowl in. But I definitely won't complain. Maybe this is controversial, but I feel like the Bills playbooks might be the best in the game. I don't know. We were mid on both offense and defense. How did we win a Super Bowl? I'm not sure, man. But we'll take it. Now, of course, let's get into the rebuild of this team, where we're gonna have a better overall team, but probably a lot less success because EA. We have an upgrade for Juwan Jennings. Oh, probably just from playing in the Super Bowl. I was like, did he win like best receiver or something somehow? But no. It looks like we did face a lot of regression, as you would assume. We're down to an 82 overall. Both of our top 2 tight ends retired, really? Taysom Hill too? I'm surprised Julio didn't retire. I forgot I even had him. I didn't want to start him because he's like 36. Jerry Hughes retired. Chandler Jones didn't, though. Xavier Rhodes retired. Steven Nelson got star dev and Denzel Perriman, so at least a couple dev ups, but not many. I'm surprised Michael Thomas didn't go to superstar. But anyways, let's see who we have to re-sign here. Steven Nelson... Yeah, I guess we'll re-sign him. I mean, we desperately need corners, so we might as well. How about 1 year, 3.8 mil, and he does re-sign. And is anybody else here even interested? Reggie Robinson, Jamie Gillen, I guess I can re-sign. Oh yeah, and I guess I should say this. How we're gonna do, like, free agency in the draft is we're just gonna try to sign and draft, like, generally strong players. We're not gonna be so strict where, like, oh, they have to be stronger than the players we have on the roster to make the team. Like, that would would just make this really hard for no reason and probably not as fun. We're just gonna say if, like, they look really strong, we can sign them. Because it's gonna be hard for players in the draft to beat out some of the players on our roster. That's how I did the speed one, too. And it seemed to work out pretty well. But let's see what we can do in free agency. Ooh, not a great QB class, believe it or not. Shocking, I know. Okay, well... truly elite free agent class we're going for here. We're going for just mostly depth, but like also emergency starters if we need them. I do think Bryan Edwards will probably be a starter, but we'll see if one of these two tight ends do end up being a starter in Darnell Washington and Daniel Bellinger. And then the rest of these guys I do just expect to be depth. Is Riley even one of the faster ones or stronger ones? 70 strength, we'll withdraw from him. Plus he's just not that good. But super exciting free agent class, I know. Let's see if we can get these players. We get, or well, I don't know if we get all of them, but yeah, it looks like we do get all of them except for Trey Sermon, Tyler Shelvin, and Cam Bright. 3 amazing players, clearly. And Trey Sermon and Cam Bright don't want to sign. All right, well, if they sign, cool. If not, then I could care less. And let's see what we can do in the draft. I don't even know how strong the players there are even gonna be. I guess we'll see. But in the draft, we obviously pick at number 32. Can't wait for every player I want to be gone. The Texans just stay terrible here, unfortunately for them. I mean, they've been pretty good in real life, but, you know, not the greatest track record. But who do we want to go with here? There was one QB I thought was interesting. He is unfortunately gone, of course. I think Mark Otting was really strong. Was this the one? But he doesn't look good. Yeah, he's really strong, elite throw power, but his ratings aren't great. So I don't think we're going to be going with him. Who do we want to go with? Because I was kind of banking on that QB still being here. I don't know why I was now that I think about it, but Elijah Lucas is still available and he looks pretty good. He's really fast and obviously strong. He's the strongest corner in the class. Elite agility too, which is nice. Good awareness, good zone coverage. He does have a few flaws though. He's 23, which like that's not too bad, but it's going to be harder for him to develop. And he only has D player X, C man. Like that's not great. I don't really care about the man. I'm just worried about the play rec because I can develop the man coverage with like slot upgrades and all that. But either way, we are like desperate for corner. It might be like the biggest hole I've ever had in a rebuild before in general. I mean, I guess we have Steven Nelson, but like that's it. So at least we have somebody there, but let's add another corner. I don't know if he's gonna have normal or whatever his dev trait's gonna be. His player notes look good, so let's go with Elijah Lucas out of LSU. God damn it. Normal dev. How is a 4.37 and like a 4.31 at his pro day 92 speed? I mean, that's like good speed, but do I just not like understand how speed works in this game? Do I always just think it should be higher than it actually like should be? Because I feel like that should have been like 94 speed, but either way, should be a decent overall player. Definitely unfortunate that he doesn't have a dev trait though. And now, I have no idea what to do. There was a receiver I was looking at, but I think he is gone unless this is the one? No. John Villalobos looks pretty good though. He's not crazy strong though. This is the one guy I can find at receiver with great strength. Jake Edmonds from UCLA. He does actually look pretty good. I mean, he's a playmaker type, so obviously he has good ball carrier vision, carrying all that, but his receiving ability isn't too bad either. I don't know if we're going to take him yet, but we probably will. There's some good projected UDFA defensive tackles too. There are some decent strong players in this class. Like both of these defensive tackles right here, great strength for Mike Fenderson and Frank Townsend. Both of them look solid. Fenderson looks a little better, but I think I'll take them later in the draft too. I'm just struggling to find a player that would be worth taking right here. Should I? Oh, no. I was going to say, should I go with Greg Schmidt? I mean, he's a blocking tight end, but his receiving ability is awful, so no. I guess we'll technically reach on Jake Edmonds here because he looks good enough to take with this pick. So this is going to be the last pick I'm going to show. It's hard to find players with good strength early in the draft. for me at least. I'm sure there were in the first round, but I knew the guy I wanted to go with there. I didn't really look at too many others, but let's go with Jake Edmonds here. I don't know if he's going to have a dev trait. He has bad injury. Mostly good traits except for the concentration drops, but let's take him. Normal dev, unfortunately. We're going to get unlucky with the dev traits. 70 strength, not even as high as I thought it would be, but that's still good enough. He'll probably be like a 70-ish overall, maybe like a 69. We'll see. But that might be good enough to start, unfortunately. I'm glad we got our Super Bowl win when we did, because it's going to be hard to win another one. But we will give it our best shot. But here's how we did in the draft, and I'm confused. We actually did pretty well, considering we're doing a challenge, and we obviously had the last pick in every round. Okay. Here's what I'm confused about. Elijah Lucas is a 74 overall. He looked amazing. He had like 4.3. He had like an average of like a 4.34 and has 92 speed, 91 excel. David Newberry is a straight up better corner. I'm glad I got both, but I'm realizing how much I hate their combine system for this game. This dude ran like a 4.45 or something. He didn't even have that good of a 40, I don't think. But he has 91 speed, 93 excel. He's almost faster than a guy who had like a full 0.1 faster 40 time. I don't understand. But yeah, David Newberry was straight up the better corner. He also has 60 zone, 65 press. How is this dude the same overall with a dev trait? I genuinely don't see anything about him that would indicate that he's better. Like, I'm so confused. Like, even his awareness is considerably worse. I don't understand this game. Are man corners just a higher rating a lot of the time? Is that how that works? Like, man's more important to zone, or more important than zone in general? I don't understand. But either way, we got two good corners regardless. Jake Edmonds is only a 68. He's not very good. And obviously, I took the rest of these picks. Mike Fenderson actually looks really good. 70 overall, hidden dev. Not crazy strong, but 91 strength is good. 69 speed, nice. And then I just pretty much filled out depth wherever I could. I think Derek Tolbert here actually has a dev trait, so that's nice. What's his strength? Oh, I guess it doesn't show it. I don't know. Whatever, that's fine. It is only 67. You know what? Good enough. He was literally the strongest receiver available at the time I took him, so not much I can do about that. But now, let's get into year number 2 of the rebuild. I can't wait to be 3-14 after we won the Super Bowl last year. It's going to be great. But here's a look at the team heading into year 2 of the rebuild. You know, I predicted that this team would be a lower overall than last year, but we're an 83 just to start off, so I'm feeling pretty good about it, and we're obviously a much younger team this year. We're still going to go with Trey Lance at QB. I am like half thinking about trying Malik Willis, but I don't know. We'll just continue to try to develop Trey Lance. We'll see what happens there. And I'm going to start Derek Tolbert. I guess he's not that strong. He only had like 67 strength, but he does have a hidden dev. And the rest of our receivers, except for Michael Thomas, don't have a dev trait, so we'll try to develop him into a good receiver. And then the defense, it's mostly the same as last year. We just added a couple new corners, which is nice. David Newberry should be pretty good. We'll see. I don't like his zone coverage, but that's fine. And then Elijah Lucas, we should be able to develop too. So I like how the team's looking. I'm sure we're going to be like worse for some reason this year, but I guess you never know. So we'll see what happens. But let's get to the midseason point of year 2. And hopefully we're doing all right. Okay, well, I don't remember what our record was at the midseason last year. So I think this is like worse, but I think we were 4-3. I think that's what we were. So this is like technically worse, but we could win the next game for all I know. Our offense is pretty good, number 7 in the NFL. Our defense for points allowed is number 23, but we're 8th in passing yards per game and 2nd in rush yards per game allowed. So our defense looks good. It's just allowing a lot of points for some reason. I'm surprised we're only 3-3 though. Maybe we've just had a tough schedule or something. But we have some players to resign here. Jedrick Wills. I don't normally like Jedrick Wills in this game. He's normally awful, and it looks like he's doing awful here. He's allowing a sack per game. That's not ideal. Zach Martin will bring back 1 year, 19 mil, if he takes it, of course, and he does. Okay, cool. Juwan Bentley will definitely bring back 4 years, 42 mil. More time. Dude, I'm gonna kill. I hate that message so much, dude. Steven Nelson's old. We might re-sign him at the end of the year, but that's a big maybe. Chandler Jones, how's he doing? Is he even getting much playing time? I think he is. He's doing pretty good, actually. I'll wait until the end of the year to re-sign him. He might honestly retire, but I guess we'll find out. And then Jermaine Illuminor, how's he doing? I know he was good last year. Ooh, not so much this year. Okay, more than a sack allowed per game. Not great. What happened to our offensive line? It was actually good last year, and now it's horrific. That's the good old EA classic right there. But that's all for us to do here, so let's get to the end of the year and we will see how this team can finish. Okay, well, in year 2 with a better team, a certified EA classic, we finish worse than we were last year. We finish 8-9. For some reason, our offense ended up being not very good. Only 20 points per game, number 21 in the NFL. I love this game. It doesn't drive me insane at all. Trey Lance, I am glad I focus scouted QB, because 4,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, 22 picks, that's not great. I mean, it would be fine if he didn't throw 22 interceptions. He's up to a 76, so he might be good trade value if we replace him, which I definitely want to. But I'm sure if I replace him, he'll win MVP on whatever team I trade him to. He did have like 500 rushing yards, though. That's pretty good. But Derrick Henry, 1,200 yards, only 4.7 per carry, though. 10 touchdowns. I mean, 4.7's good. I guess I'm just spoiled from having Jonathan Taylor get like 6.8 every year. I guess he doesn't have that here, but he did in the last rebuild I did. And Bryan Edwards was our leading receiver. That's the last one I wanted to be our leading receiver. He had 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. I wanted that production to go to Tolbert. I don't know how to make that happen because I didn't put Edwards in the slot. He was our number 3, yet he got the most catches, or well, most yards at least. Tolbert did get the most catches. I don't know, whatever. Michael Thomas with 977 yards, 10 touchdowns. Derek Tolbert was still solid, 900 yards, 4 touchdowns, but I doubt that'll be enough for Rookie of the Year. And then Washington, 500 yards. And blocking, Jedrick Wills was bad, shocker. Jermaine Illuminor wasn't very good either, but he only allowed 1 more sack in the last 11 games of the year. It's just he allowed 8 in the first 6, so I don't think we'll be bringing him back. And then Juwan Bentley led the team with 128 tackles. Tackles for loss, 20 from Chandler Jones, 19 from Jeffrey Simmons, and sacks, 11.5 for Simmons, 8.5 for Jones. He was good. 6 for Frank Clark. He was fine. 4.5 for Payne. I didn't mean to click him, but I wish he did a little better. And then interceptions, a whole 6. 3 for Newberry, 2 for Adams, and 1 for Steven Nelson. What did our rookie corners do? Lucas did about nothing. Cool. And I don't see the other one. Oh no, Newberry was this. I'm brain dead, whatever. He could be up there for Defensive Rookie of the Year. We'll see. But let's check out yearly awards. MVP goes to Josh Allen on the Bills. The other Josh Allen, or not on the Bills, the Jaguars. Why did I say the Bills? Oh well, because he is the Bills QB. Whatever. Josh Allen on the Jags, but the different Josh Allen. Jimmy Garoppolo on the Saints up there for some reason. Also, Nick Chubb was at number 4 for MVP. I'm kind of scared to see what he did, because I was wanting to draft him, but I couldn't because Derrick Henry was in the way. But Offensive Player of the Year, of course, goes to Nick Chubb. Also, did the Colts just go with the strategy to keep all their players? I mean, I guess I've only seen 2, but they kept Jonathan Taylor, they kept Josh Downs. I don't know what their strategy was, but Derrick Henry comes in at number 9 for Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Micah Parsons on the Bengals. Jeffrey Simmons at number 6. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jalen Simmons on the Ravens. Derek Tolbert at number 3, unfortunately. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, damn it, Johnny Butler for the Chargers wins it. David Newberry at number 2. We're getting cucked for awards here. At least we already have a Super Bowl win, though. I mean, I can't complain too much, but we're a better team now than we were then, so we should be doing better. I mean, I guess other teams in the NFL probably got better too, but still. But let's get into the offseason and let's try to really upgrade this team, especially the receiving core. And the Ravens win the Super Bowl here 34-7. Over the Rams. They absolutely destroy them. Most of the time, the Ravens, well, I guess they do pretty well in this game, huh? I never really noticed that, but they do pretty well in this game. Maybe they're one of the, like, super good playbooks. I wonder who their QB is, though, because they have to have a good running QB. Oh, yeah, Jalen Simmons. Is he a good runner? Yeah, looks pretty good. 94 change of direction, damn. What is this QB group, though? They have Jalen Simmons, but they also have Baker Mayfield, Hendon Hooker, Alex Magoo, and Anthony Brown. That's a deep quarterback group. But now for the rest of the players we have to re-sign. Definitely not Jedrick Wills. I do want Juwan Bentley back. He should just take this, right? And he does. Okay, cool. Steven Nelson, I'm good. Chandler Jones, if we can get him back, I'll take him back. I don't want to sign him for 3 years, though. 1 year, $7 million, and he doesn't take it. That's fine. I mean, he did well, but he's very old. So we could just replace him, hopefully. And yeah, pretty much everyone else here isn't that good. So let's get into free agency and let's see if there are any good players we could add. We definitely need some tackles. We'll see what we can do there. Ooh, this is a weak free agent class. Okay, well, these are the players we're gonna go for in free agency. We're going for a lot, but not many good ones. There just weren't a lot of good ones. The best player we're going for is Quinn Miners. We definitely need offensive linemen. I'm surprised that's such a big problem for us. I mean, it's not really a problem, just our tackles now are a problem, but we'll try to get Quinn Miners. We might move Zach Martin to tackle, like I was saying we could do, and we're having to overpay Quinn Miners like crazy because he's not interested at all. We're paying him like almost 20 mil per year, even though he's only asking like 6.6 per year. So hopefully we can get him. We'll see. And then we're also going for James Robinson, Aleem McNeil, Leo Chenal. We're trying to get Jermaine Illuminor back. DJ Johnson, we're trying to bring him back. Just a decent amount of like re-signings. There's this Tevin Avery guy in free agency too with Star Dev. We'll try to bring him in. A few starters here, but mostly depth. The big one I want is Quinn Miners, but let's see if any of these players sign. It looks like a few of them do, but all these guys don't sign yet, and who do we get? Damn it. Okay, we get Jermaine Illuminor, we get AJ Epinesa, and we get Tevin Avery. We don't get Quinn Miners, though. That's tough. And Robert Hunt signs. I was thinking about him too. But he's only 90 strength. I mean, that's strong, but I don't know. Dan Moore is the strongest tackle available here. How has he been performing? Not great, but Jedrick Wills was worse. How about a 1 year, 6.8 mil? We'll see if he takes that. Probably not, though. Just so we have somebody there. But let's see if any of these players signed. We still have the lead for all of them. I don't know if any of them signed. I think a few did. I don't know who we got, though. I guess probably all of them. The Colts want Dan Moore. You know what? You can have him. I don't care. And we get most of the rest of the guys. And I guess we'll just eventually see if we get those two. But let's get to the draft, and we're gonna have some work to do, that's for sure. Okay, well, in the draft, the Colts have the #1 pick. I just can't escape the Colts here for some reason. That's what I'm learning. I think the same thing happened when I did the Texans 10-year rebuild. Maybe I'm just too used to seeing them and I just notice them more. I don't know. Like when you learn a new word and then you suddenly hear it like everywhere, you know what I mean? Maybe that only happens to me, I don't know. But who do we want to take here? I'm losing my mind, genuinely. I want a QB, but none of the good ones look very good. Kerry Bolden at least has great strength. Definitely not elite though, but he is very fast. Maybe that can count towards something with strength. I don't know. He's the only decent QB here. He's only first round 1, and I want a QB. So we're going to go with Kerry Bolden. He at least has great strength, like I said. I don't even know if this guy's good, but at least he's a first to second round talent. He has good injury. Maybe that's a good sign. Good traits. He's probably going to have normal dev, but hopefully he doesn't. Kerry Bolden out of Texas, let's take him. Thankfully, he has hidden 92 throw power, 91 speed, only 67 strength, but let's ignore that. That's strong enough. We'll take it. But really, he was almost the strongest quarterback in the class. There really wasn't a very strong one this year. And now in the second round, who do we want to go with here? Artemis Flowers? What kind of name is that? That's insane. And in the second round, we definitely need another lineman. I didn't realize Corey Linsley retired. Corey, is that the right former Packers center? Yeah, Corey Linsley. He's the one who plays for the Chargers. I'm so bad with names lately, even for real life players. I don't know why. I'm getting him mixed up in my brain with JC Treader for some reason. But yes, Corey Linsley is the one that we had. JC Treader doesn't even play anymore. He's like the NFLPA president or some shit. I don't know what he is, but I'm rambling. Let's go with Mitch Sally. Hidden dev, 91 strength, good enough strength, we'll take it. I don't know where we're going to play him. We might keep him at right guard, we'll see. And we definitely still need a corner because no more, not Cameron Sutton. God, I suck with names today. Steven Nelson. We don't have Steven Nelson anymore, so Let's look for a good corner. I didn't even check the corners. I probably should have, but I was more focused on QB and O-line. None of these guys look that strong. Is this the strongest one? Only solid strength? Bruh. Ooh. Great speed. C-zone coverage. This guy looks solid, but he's not very strong. Maybe we can take like a hybrid safety and move him to nickel corner or something. Because yeah, none of these corners are strong at all. There isn't even one with good. Okay, I think the best looking one is unfortunately Dante Mitchell. I say unfortunately because he doesn't actually look all that good. He's strong at least. I mean, he has great strength for a safety. 20 bench reps would easily be number one for the corners here. God, he just doesn't look very good. I'm hoping his man coverage is at least a B, but we might need to look to free agency for another decent corner. He is 23 too, so it's going to be hard to develop him here. But let's take Dante Mitchell, and he has normal dev, of course. 72 strength, I mean, that's pretty good. 90 speed, 91 excel. We'll take that. Looking at his ratings right there, those are all pretty good, but that's not the part of him I'm worried about. I'm worried about his coverage ability. We'll see. We'll see what his overall is at corner, but I'll take the rest of these picks, obviously, and I'll see y'all for the draft recap. Okay, well, here in the draft, or not here in the draft, here's how we did in the draft. Dude, I need to not record after I woke up like an hour ago. I mean, I guess it's 9:30 now. It's been longer than an hour, much longer, but oh well. I'll just make excuses for me being a dumbass. Kerry Bolden is pretty good. What if I just bump his strength up? Make him more valid to be on this team. No, I'm not going to do that, but I could. But he looks good for sure. Good throw power, just really well-rounded and really fast. That's, I guess, the part of him that's not well-rounded. He's really quick. And then Mitch Sally is a 73 overall at guard, so that was a pretty good value pick. Number 31 ranked right guard. I'm surprised he's not higher than that, but we'll take it. And then Dante Mitchell's fine. Honestly, better than I thought he would be. He went up to a 68 at corner. I think he was only a 66 at safety, so he's definitely better at corner. He has good press, for sure. I don't even know if he's going to start. We might go for someone else. We'll see, but he looks good enough to where if we had to play him, I wouldn't hate it. We also got Johnny Sheldon, but I mean, he was the strongest corner available, but he only has 62 strength. We can't keep him. He's like 10 strength lower than the players who started on this team. Something I noticed is a lot of corners in these drafts are not strong enough. But overall, it was a solid draft. I mean, we got some decent depth. Kyle Patton was a decent pick in the 7th round, 67 overall, 90 strength. He looks fine. But now, let's get into year number 3, potentially the final year of this rebuild. We'll see. And I might work on a trade real quick. We'll see. Okay, here we are going to be trading Trey Lance to the Bengals for Jalen Johnson and a 3rd round pick. Jalen Johnson is strong enough. He has like 67 strength. That's good enough. That's gonna have to work because there was no other corner that we could feasibly trade for with higher strength. There was Jalen Ramsey, but he was way too expensive, even though he went for a goddamn 3rd round pick in real life. Gotta love the realism of this game. But yeah, we're getting a good number 1 corner in Jalen Johnson, so we'll take it. I mean, like, look at the strength of the generated corners in this game. 59 is, like, the best here. There's one with 49, 50, well, I guess that's a real corner. 54, like, 67 is really good compared to those. Okay, well, here is a look at the team heading into the 3rd and possibly final year of the rebuild. I know it's weird to have a rookie QB heading into the final year, but we already won a Super Bowl. This is already a success. We're just trying to see how good this team can be, and it's not too great right now. We're in 82, but we should develop a lot throughout the year. We obviously have some younger players now. I moved Zach Martin to left tackle. I don't remember if I ever showed that, and we're going to start Sally at right guard. Our receiving core is the same, but we'll see what Bolden can do in his rookie year here. And then the defense, I don't know how great I feel about DJ Johnson starting and like really nobody else for the edge pretty much, but we'll see what happens there. Jalen Johnson, we obviously traded for him. He should be pretty good. So, I mean, we have a decent team. It's just we have holes at important positions, which your mother has a good hole at every position for me. But hopefully we can do better than I'm thinking we will, and let's get to the midseason point of year number 3. Okay, well, we are better than I thought we would be. We're 4-3 at the midseason point of year 3. I want to see how our QB's doing. He must be doing pretty all right. I mean, somebody's carrying us. Yeah, Kerry Bolden is doing pretty well, 70% completion percentage too. You know what? I think the Bills playbooks might be my favorite ones in the game. I don't know if they're the best, but they're the ones that are like consistently good for me. Now that I say that, we're gonna absolutely choke and finish 4-13, but for now, they're doing well. Our tackles aren't doing great here. They're allowing a decent amount of sacks, but the majority of our team is doing pretty well. Of course, we have 4 total interceptions. That's the one thing I don't like about the Bills playbook. I think the most interceptions I've had with it is like 7. It doesn't get many picks, but everything else seems pretty good. But I guess we can check re-signings just in case we go to a year 4, but no, I'm not going to go to a year 4. I need to get this video out in like 3 hours, so. Okay, interesting trade here. We're going to be trading AJ Epinesa and Malik Willis and the 3rd round pick we got with Jalen Johnson for Khalil Mack. I wanted better pass rush, and he is usually good in this game, and he was one of the strongest outside linebackers, so I made sure to check that, of course. I think he was the strongest, actually. So we get him for a decent value here. I mean, just a couple backups and a 3rd round pick. We'll take that. And I'm realizing I might from now on lower the like trade difficulty slider for my rebuilds, because if you really think about it, this is more, I referenced this earlier, this is more than what the Dolphins gave up for Jalen Ramsey. They gave up like a 3rd round pick and Hunter Long, or I think it was Hunter Long, some tight end. I still think Jalen Ramsey, when healthy, is maybe the best corner in the NFL. We are giving up a little more than that for a pass rusher who's fairly washed in real life, but he's even more washed here and like 5 years older than Jalen Ramsey is in real life. Like, you have to give up way too much for players in Madden franchise. But anyways, this should definitely help out our pass rush, but now I'll rearrange the depth chart and everything, and let's get to the end of year number 3. Okay, well, here we are at the end of year number 3, and y'all know why we're here if you've seen one of my videos before. Super quick, before I reveal how we did, of course, if you haven't already, be sure to like and be sure to subscribe. It really helps out the video, and if you've made it all the way here, I question why you haven't already. That sounds aggressive, but like, I very much appreciate it, and I'm not gonna plug that too hard, but be sure to turn on notifications if you like Madden rebuilds and you want to be one of the first people to ever see these videos. It'll make sure that you never miss them too, as long as you actually have like notifications on YouTube. But yeah, it'll make sure that you can catch them, and I reply to like all early comments, or at least heart most of them, unless there's something weird like calling me daddy, or I've seen a lot of comments like, yo, anyone here single? I said this in the last video, but these videos attract some interesting people. I don't know how to feel about it, but if you can guess already, in year number 3, we made the playoffs going 11-6. I'm surprised, because this team isn't that crazy. It says we're an 83 right there. Is that what our overall actually is? Because I did spend some upgrades. Okay, no, we're an 84. I could have just stayed there and checked, but whatever. Also, Kerry Bolden has superstar dev. He's already up to an 80 overall. We will definitely take that. I think all of our other rookies just had star, like all of them that I've drafted throughout the rebuild. The best they had was star, but if we're gonna get a superstar, I'm happy it was a QB, especially when that's been such a big problem for us. Unfortunately, we're coming off of a 44-24 loss to the Browns in Week 18, but let's check out our season stats. Kerry Bolden was very good. 4,100 yards, 34 touchdowns, 8 picks. Derrick Henry, almost 1,500 yards, 5.1 per carry, 14 touchdowns. Michael Thomas with 1,400 yards in 17 touchdowns and only 89 catches. Damn, he was a monster. Bryan Edwards was solid. Derek Tolbert was solid. Darnell Washington was okay. We just don't use tight ends much here, which is weird because the Bills use 2 tight ends in real life a good amount of the time, but whatever. And blocking was not good, but let's not worry about that too much. Let's focus on the positives. Juwan Bentley, 109 tackles, led the team. Tackles for loss, 20 for Jeffrey Simmons, 17 for Khalil Mack. I don't know how many of those were with us, but either way, that's a good amount. Also, oh yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that he's from Buffalo, the college, so I guess he's not really returning home. I don't know where he's from, but returning to his college area, I guess. That's a weird way to phrase it, but you know what I mean. And then sacks, 11.5 from Khalil Mack led the team. Again, I don't know how many were with us, but still a good amount. 10.5 for Simmons, 8 for Payne, 5 for Davis. And then interceptions, a good amount this year. I think the most I've ever seen for this playbook. 4 for Jalen Johnson. Well, oh no, we traded for him before the year. Never mind. I was going to say, I don't know how many were with us, but no, we got him before the year. But 4 for Jalen Johnson, 2 for Perriman and Adams and Hooker, and then 1 for Bentley and Steven Nelson. But MVP here goes to Patrick Mahomes on the Giants. Kerry Bolden at number 3 behind Jimmy Garoppolo on the Saints. Why has he turned into a stud on the Saints? Do they have like a loaded receiving core or something? They have to. That's the only thing I could think of. And Michael Thomas wins Offensive Player of the Year here. We love to see that. Derrick Henry at number 5, Kerry Bolden at 6. Defensive Player of the Year, again, I'm seeing the Colts a lot here. Deion Jones wins it for the Colts. Okay. I mean, he was really good at one point in real life. I wouldn't question that, like 2018 or something, but at this point in time, I'm questioning how he won that. But Jeffrey Simmons up there at 7, Khalil Mack at 8. I'm surprised that wasn't reversed, but fair enough. And obviously, Kerry Bolden wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, what's with the Colts? Armon Bennett for the Colts wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Why am I seeing so many Colts here? It's so weird. Ooh, Michael Thomas wins Best Receiver too, as you would assume. Damn, Jalen Johnson at number 2 for Best DB, getting beat out by probably 35-year-old Jimmy Ward here. Okay. But of course, in the playoffs, we are going to be taking on the 9-8 Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that just took this team down in real life, and they do have our former QB in Josh Allen here. So, you know, a lot of connections between these teams. I think I called the Jags the Bills earlier in this rebuild. Also, 3 teams in our division were 11-6. The Patriots, us, and then the Jets. But we have a one last hurrah scenario here before we inevitably lose to the Jaguars. Who's this going to be for? Maybe Mac? Or like Zach Martin, maybe? Yeah, it's Zach Martin. He sucked this year anyways. That's fine. Well, it's the last year of the rebuild anyways, but we get plus 10 morale for all of our players. But now, let's see if we can get a win against the Jags. Of course not. We lose 23-15. I love this game. But even though this rebuild didn't end the way I wanted it to, this still was a successful rebuild. We got a Super Bowl year 1, and we actually built, you know, a decent team considering we were doing a challenge, and I could have made it better if I had a little more time, but again, it was already a success. And to be honest, this one might get really hard if I keep going, because it is a lot of players that are older, like Thomas, Martin, Jermaine Illuminor, Mitch Morse, Derrick Henry, Khalil Mack. I think we're stopping at a high point. But thank you all so much for watching. I really hope y'all enjoyed. Again, like, subscribe if you did enjoy. It really helps out the channel. Of course, let me know any fun rebuild ideas down below if you want a shout out if I pick your comment. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.